go back to the UK after Portugal. And I am pleased to ask Chris Hoare to join me. Yes, hello Chris, you're here. How are you? Please, Chris, have a seat.
Hello. A bit too close.
That's okay, that's perfect. So Chris, you were born in 1989. Well, 89, which is also the year of the Berlin Wall. A good, big
yeah.
anniversary, a big anniversary today. You were born in Bristol, where you live and work now at the Martin Parr Foundation Gallery, besides your personal work as a photographer. Your photographs were have featured in several publications, including Huck, The Wire, Les Inrecuptibles, Time Out, and the Commuter Journal. Your project that we will discover today, The Worst Poem in the Universe, is the subject of a forthcoming book. Maybe you will tell us about this book. This project grew out after 3 expeditions across Australia. In this series, you explore the way fortune and misfortune mesh to shape the country's destiny. Your unusual take on Australia offers a mix of portraits and landscape in black and white or color, and playful critical perspective. Can you tell us about the project, please, Chris?
Yes, so yeah, the project is a sort of look at Australia and its possible relationship to luck as a possible lucky place to live. And the book, the project began really by looking at this book, which was written in 1964 by an Australian author called Donald Horne, and it was called The Lucky Country, and it was essentially a critique of Australia at the time. And since then, the phrase "the lucky country" has been used in Australia to sort of by Australians to describe the way the country. The sort of fortune that the country has as a prosperous country with vast sort of minimal wealth. Yeah, so this began, if you carry on. Yeah, so I began the project by looking at this, looking at how it could be deemed to be a lucky country. But then there's also many reasons why Australia could be deemed to be a sort of unlucky country. Starting with the fact that Australians are the biggest gamblers in the world as a nation. So I became interested in this, and also if Australia is a lucky country, and then particularly for its indigenous population, it's probably not a lucky country. So I used luck as a sort of starting point for making images mostly on the street. So for example, this is somebody looking for gold, and then this is a gold mine. Yeah, I began just walking. I sort of traveled. Yeah, I made the trip, made the project over the course of 3 trips. The first trip was for 1 month, where in fact, the first trip I was actually trying to create a different project, which was actually about Aboriginal hip hop. And I began the project and was frustrated by the time I was able to spend with the people I was photographing, but also just becoming more interested in Australia in general. But then if you stop on this picture, so because it kind of illustrates the sort of images that I've been making. So an image like this is a lady called Candy, and she was outside Cash Converters, if anyone knows of it, it's a sort of pawnbroking shop. And she was spending money that she had won on sort of slot machines the night before. And I like how, and it's on the Gold Coast, a city called the Gold Coast. And I like how luck and bad luck, is she lucky or is she unlucky, and how this kind of relationship can kind of come out. You carry on. But yeah, so I would sort of spend time hanging around casinos. Both of these are taken around casinos. Central sort of business districts in Sydney and Melbourne, where the more kind of fortunate Australians, if they're fortunate, there's more kind of money. I'd be quite playful with the way I'd sort of use luck. So if I saw someone with an injury, I'd associate that with bad luck, and I'd meet them and I'd talk to them and make a picture. And then I was just kind of collecting images over the course of the 3 trips. The second trip was for 1 year, so I was there for quite a long time. And I was collecting images, and I guess a book has always been the desired end result, because of the way you can sequence images and put them together and sort of create a kind of fiction almost, really, because the images are kind of my...
This is what you do on your slideshow, actually. You know this.
Yeah, I decided to do it like this because it's a bit more representative of how I see the images. So I like the way that the previous image with break, and then the guy had sort of broken his neck falling downstairs. And yeah, and some people I'd meet on the street and it would happen very quickly. And some people, such as this woman here, I spent a few days sort of hanging out with her, because she was staying at the same hostel where I was, and it was in Alice Springs in the centre of Australia. And so things like this, so yeah, exploring the statistics that Australia's and its gambling sort of problem as a nation. So this says game over, and I kind of wish I photographed the other fist, but I didn't think of it at the time. So yeah, so how good luck and bad luck would kind of intertwine, particularly say on the image on the left where it's quite a fancy sort of nice house, but there's an undercurrent of perhaps bad luck. Hopefully that makes sense.
Of course, yeah. Thank you. You chose square format and a kind of very grey, black and white, and colorful images on the other side. Can you tell about these aesthetic choices?
Yeah, so I kind of just believe in, like probably a lot of people, that some things just look a lot better in black and white and some things look a lot better in colour, and just sort of freeing up of mixing them. It felt like something that I wanted to do for this project. One book in particular that kind of inspired that a bit was a Tom Wood book called Photoman, and I was looking at that at the time that I was sort of deciding how I was going to make the project. So that was the sort of the decision.
And you saw to the book project already. You saw to the format. I mean, the way you would like to do the book.
Yeah, so I've got a book dummy which anyone's welcome to see when I'll be sat down there with my portfolio, and it's a book dummy that the closest so far to how I want the project to be read, but there's still kind of work to go. There's quite a lot of work to go with it. And obviously, being here, I'm sort of trying to approach people or get people to see the work, to see if it's possible that somebody would publish the work.
And the book project is, I mean, your image will speak by their own, or you want to tell the story also of each people, of each situation you face?
Yeah, so that's kind of something I guess I'm still deciding. I want the images to kind of talk for themselves, but I also could possibly have an introduction. I forgot to say that, the title is called The Worst Poem in the Universe, and that was actually, so I might have the poem in there, which is a poem written by the richest person in Australia, a lady called Gina Reinhardt, who is perhaps one of the luckiest Australians, because she inherited vast amounts of money from her dad, who luckily stumbled upon vast amounts of iron ore in Western Australia. So she's got a poem, and the title is in reference to how that poem was described. So the poem might feature in the book, but I wouldn't want to have it at the beginning. And I'm sort of still working out in terms of how that would be included with the work.
And after Australia, what is the next project you are working on?
It's difficult to say. I mean, I'm somebody that I like to just keep making images. I feel for me it's quite important. I sort of see it almost like therapy sometimes. And so I sort of make images in Bristol, my hometown, where I decided to print a project that I've been doing in Bristol, so I've got that in my portfolio, which people are welcome to come and see. But in terms of next project, I'm still kind of just playing with a few different ideas at the moment.
Okay, and last but not least, you are part of the Carte Blanche project, and you have a huge image at Gare du Nord station, so everybody can see these games over
Yeah.
at the entrance of the station. What can you expect of this experience at Paris Photo and Gardeners for the Carte Blanche Students program?
Yeah, so it was very surreal to see my image blown up that big. I doubt I'll ever have a photograph blown up that big. So it was quite amazing to walk in the station and see that. To be here, it's an amazing opportunity, but one that I want to kind of hope that this is the beginning of something rather than the end, and just hope to sort of meet people who are going to enjoy the work and hope to exhibit it, or the book and things like that, really. So this is a poem, by the way, but I'm not going to read it, obviously.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much, Chris. Any
you.
question for Chris? No question. Well, so thank you very much, and thank you to everybody. You can, as I told at the beginning, you can discover the 4 portfolios at the Carte Blanche Students Space here at Paris Photo. So please enjoy seeing the portfolios. Thank you very much.